Bro, I want to start a YouTube channel. Okay, so get yourself a GoPro and go out there and start recording what you're doing and having fun. Bro, I have no idea what you even have to do. This sounds like way too much work. Can you just, what? I don't know what you're asking here. Man, I don't know what I want to do or how I want to do my videos. Can I just copy what you're doing, man? Dude, I mean, I can't stop you, but I think you need to come up with your own original stuff. I mean, come on, don't you want to put your own time and effort into this thing and figure your own thing out? No, honestly, it sounds like way too much work, so yeah, I'm definitely not going to do that, but I got a better idea. Hey guys, why don't you guys come subscribe to Bars&tone too? Don't forget to like and subscribe now. Bro, really? Come on. So, you want to start a YouTube channel, or maybe you're just working towards the monetization process, or maybe you're just wanting to improve your channel and improve your recording skills. And guys, I've been getting a lot of questions recently asking about stuff I do, how I record stuff, what I record on, and how I get certain shots. And this video is going to be a little bit of information I'm going to try and pass along. This is stuff that I wish I had been told or learned a lot sooner on. So, that's what this hobby is all about, guys, is trying to, pass on information, help each other out there, because, we all know what it's like in the early stages of working on cars, trying to get information, trying to find parts, and so on, that you're kind of lost. You don't know where the best place to turn. You don't know what the best stuff to go after. Now, we're not going to get into all the part stuff and all that stuff, but today is going to be about any guys out there that are trying to help or improve your recording skills out there, and little tips and tricks that I have learned along the way. And also, and Bruno, if you're watching this, buddy, my former coworker, he taught me a lot of stuff also, because he was in the film and lighting industry. He helped kind of teach me about lighting and how to use light and sun and all that stuff, and being able to capture a little better shots sometimes. Now, it's not always possible. Sometimes you're just dealing with dark backgrounds and the areas you're at the time of day. However, there are certain times that definitely work better. So, guys, this video is going to be a little bit of information and stuff that how I record, and like I said, and showing you guys stuff that I use, and tips, tricks, and things that I wish I had known a lot sooner on. Especially if you are trying to work towards the monetization process, guys, because there were some things that I did earlier on in my videos that when the monetization process came along, I really wish I hadn't done, because it turned into a nightmare. It just wasn't any fun. So, going to pass along this information. So if you guys are interested in just improving your skills, or want to listen to me babble for a little bit, stay tuned, everybody. All right, guys. Well, the first thing we're going to go over is some of the equipment that I use on a daily basis. It has evolved and changed a little over time, and this so far has been my favorite setup. Very early on, I started this channel about 2 years ago, or right around in there. And there were some things I started at the beginning that were working pretty decent, but I was struggling with. And a lot of, again, I see this with lots of people's videos out there, and kind of things that I wish I'd have been told earlier on, so that it kind of helps clean up your videos, makes things a little more enjoyable to watch. So I'm not cutting on anybody's video, guys. This is strictly, I'm just trying to send some advice out there to everybody, things that I wish I'd have known earlier on, or just committed to from the start. And number one is the GoPro. Now, I'm using the Gopro Hero 7, and the reason I went with this thing, now I haven't tried the new 10 one yet. However, the difference between the 7, 8, and 9 is the audio. The audio quality I have found seems to be just a little better and a little crisper on the GoPro 7. I don't know why. Maybe it's my imagination, but I have been told many, many times in the videos that the audio sounds great, and they're wondering if I'm using an external microphone. I'm not. It's the stock microphone in the GoPro, but I honestly believe that the GoPro 7 seems to have a little cleaner audio. But the 10 might sound great too. I haven't tried it yet. So, this is what I use to clamp to all of my controllers. This is the GoPro flexible arm mount. It connects up to your regular GoPro, and it has a little jaw. You can clamp it right onto the front. I'll show you what it looks like onto the front of any remote control. And the Velcro strap I have near the top, because I usually put this on. I'll hook it up to a controller here and show you. But I hook this onto the top so you don't get any wiggling or any motion going on or tapping. So I'll show you that real quick. All right, so here it is hooked up to my DX5C. As you can see, I just clamp it onto the bottom, bring the arm mount up, and I use the Velcro to go around the antenna or on the TQ transmitters, the Velcro strap's long enough to go through the little loop at the top, and it helps pull it towards the front of the controller so that when you're shaking around or bouncing, the GoPro's not flopping around anymore or tapping off of the controller and making noise. Because you guys may have noticed earlier on in the videos, there was occasionally you'd hear this little tick tap tap noise. Well, it was this thing tapping off the controller because I didn't have it fixed up top better. You could move it away from the controller and it would probably work too, but I like having it tight up against it. But as you can see, plenty of room, doesn't get in the way at all. You still got plenty of room to work with everything. So that's been the setup I've been using to record. And basically just everywhere you point the GoPro or follow along the car with the controller, you got a nice wide angle lens off the GoPro to get a nice shot. All right, so besides the GoPro, the next stuff I would highly suggest is multiple batteries, obviously, for the GoPro. With the GoPro, you get one, I think, or 1 or 2 batteries with it. I can't remember. But I bought an extra 2-pack of batteries and this multi-charger that charges 3 batteries at a time. If you're going to be out there for more than one run video or for more than, you know, running for an hour, you definitely need a couple more extra batteries. So I think this was only like $15 for the charger, and the 2-pack of batteries was only like another 15 or 18 bucks. So well worth it. Now, earlier on, when I first started the channel, I was using this all the time. This clamped onto the same idea onto the transmitter and held my phone. The phone worked great for a long time. However, especially with my phone at the time, it did not have a very wide angle lens. And that's the important part with the GoPros and why I say just invest in the GoPro right off the bat. Because too many times you're losing the car out of frame, and then you see somebody jump, the car disappears for the next half of the jump, and then you catch it at the last second landing. You know, people want to be able to see the car in frame and see what's going on the whole time. So that's why the wide angle lens on the GoPro is very important. And if you got a good phone with a really nice wide angle lens and you're able to catch that, definitely use it. You know, that's not a bad idea either. But the GoPro's easier because it's not tying up your phone and it's not eating up all the memory in your phone and so on and so on. So that's why I definitely suggest the GoPro, guys. If you are going to use your phone and a mount like that, earlier on when I was doing this all the time, I had an external lavalier mic that I would plug into my phone and clip up on my shirt, and it made the audio way, way better than it is off of the phone. So if you're going to go that direction, I would definitely suggest an external microphone. All right, so if you do go the GoPro direction, the next thing besides that mount and that setup I highly, highly suggest is the little Windsock for the GoPro. You know what it's like on those windy days and the annoyance of the air noise and the wind blowing across the microphone. This thing helps tremendously. Now, normally you got to take it off. I just kind of, in a moment of having to do it, kind of rip the foam out of the bottom of it so you can just easily slide it on and off of the GoPro whenever you're having to change batteries. Because if not, you have to undo the nut, pull the thing completely out, and slip it on. So I just kind of cut the bottom out. It made it far easier to take this on and off, especially during battery changes. These are a couple extra batteries in the little cases they come in. But next thing I would suggest never to waste your money on. Trying to get those onboard shots, even though they look cool. Now, unless you're going to do this on a street car and just be on the road, that's fine. However, trying to use a GoPro on an RC car just doesn't work, especially if you're going to do very heavy bashing. I have tried mounting these different mounts up. Now, this is more of a helmet mount, but I've had the flat mounts and tried to mount them on here with all kinds of different Velcro double-sided tape. And on those heavy impacts, one of two things happen. Either a whole GoPro goes flying, or the mount rips off of it, and now, or the GoPro slams and tilts down really hard, and now you're just looking at the front of the car. Honestly, the shots look cool for a second, but they never work out, or it's going to end badly for your GoPro. So, I mean, you can tinker around and try some different things, but I have never really had a great amount of luck on a basher, that is. Now, on a street car, yes. I've had some shots hooked up to when I had the Limitless. They were awesome. They looked really cool. Now it's the Infraction, but this is the mount. Now, occasionally you guys have seen me use shots where, I've had the GoPro outside the truck, recording stuff on the sides of the truck, or recording me and Trevor in the cab. I bought one of these GoPro mounts, the suction cup, and you can stick it on anything flat, and you push down, lock it in place, and now your GoPro is not going anywhere. So you can mount that thing up on different things. I've tried using this on cars, but car bodies flex too much, and it loses suction, so that idea doesn't work if any of you guys are immediately thinking that right now. But it is cool to get some external shots of other things, or your trip to the bash session. So really nice little mount. This thing was, I think, like 23 bucks or somewhere up in the upper $20. I don't remember what, but it's been a really cool little addition to add into some shots. And this is the case I got. I got the regular silicone mount and some different mounting pieces, but on a normal daily basis, you know, minus all this stuff, this is all I use right here. All you really need. It works out pretty good. Now, if you want to get really, really elaborate with some of your stuff, you know, you can always add on and try some different mounts, but this is just what I'm using, guys. And again, I am not saying that this is written in stone and this is what you need. I'm just showing you guys what I use, and you guys see my videos. You know, they're not the best in the world, but, you know, usually keep the car pretty well and framed, and the audio sounds decent, so just figured I'd show you. One last little thing. When you're recording stuff in your garage, your basement, wherever you might be doing stuff, you know, lighting is very important, and I've been working on lighting and trying to tinker with it, and I've got it far better than when I first started. However, lights are important if you're trying to record stuff and record how-to videos in your garage. As you guys can see, I had a light set up here during the intro of this video because one side of me was lit up from this side and the other side was dark. So we got a light over there kind of lighting up my other side. And I have a bunch of other lights and a laptop stand and some other things over there, you know, to help light stuff up when I'm doing live streams. I haven't been doing live streams very often. With my past job, things were a little chaotic and I wasn't trying to just have time to make videos was hard enough, much less setting aside live stream time. But now my job time is, my career has changed, and I'm going to have a lot more time and free time, so some live streams will be coming here again, guys, don't worry. But, so that's pretty much the recording side of things, and lighting is honestly a super important. I didn't realize how important lighting was, you know, during making videos or when you're out there bashing, and next we'll get into that part of it. All right, guys, so the next part we're going to get into, we were going to talk about some lighting, but we are going to get into that in a moment. The next thing I want to discuss was how you're putting your videos together now, and with music. Music has been the worst thing that I ever started trying to do with videos. You know, you got on these different sites saying that they were a copyright-free and monetization, you know, music that you could use in videos. And I started using them earlier on in my videos. You know, I thought it was really cool to put together, you know, a bunch of cool shots and add some music or some rock music or whatever you wanted to use. Well, this was my big nightmare with this whole situation during monetization, because I had dozens and dozens of videos out there with music under them. You know, it may have been just some random weird, you know, guitar with no singing or whatever it may have been. And at the time, it was monetization free, right? You know, this song wasn't copyrighted. No problems. I had these music on there. Will come the time when I went to do monetization, got my little invitation from YouTube saying you're eligible for monetization. You know, go through the process. Cool, went through it, thought I was ready to roll, right? No. So all of a sudden, I go through the monetization process, and now it says, you know, you have copyright claims on your account. And I'm like, oh, well, what the heck did I use? I never really remembered using anything that should have been copyrighted. Well, all of these songs that I pulled from different sites at the time. Now, I know that there's sites out there that legit you pay for a lot. You pay a lot more for them, or you pay for, period, that you can get copyright-free music. Now, I had even done that, and I don't know how many of you out there that are watching this have ran into the same problem. But number one, I used regular music off of either an editing app or off of something, or I purchased some other app that gave me free music, right? Well, they were all copyrighted. They turned out that you can't use the music in the videos if it was already copyrighted, first of all. So then I had to go through all of these videos. And you guys might notice, any of you guys that may have watched some of my really old videos, there was spots where there's no audio. There's just no audio to the video at all. And it's kind of like, well, that's weird. Well, that's why, because there was music there originally, and I had to go through and delete all the music in different parts of these videos for hours and hours and hours. Or you just had to delete the whole video, which now you just lost all of that watch time hours that build up for you to get monetized. So now if you delete those videos, now you can't be monetized because you don't have enough watch time hours maybe. So my biggest number one thing that anybody out there starting a channel is either A, don't use music. Try to find something, you know, have some conversation with the audience on the phone or whatever you're recording on, you know what I mean, and do something. Or be very careful and make sure that whatever music you're putting on those videos is not monetized or going to be monetized. Because I've had music that I had on my videos for over a year that I purchased that were supposed to be monetization free and copyright free. Well, along that time, somebody copyrighted it, and suddenly a year and a half later, now I get hit for a copyright infringement on a song that wasn't copyrighted then, but is now. So all I'm saying, guys, is if you use music, be extremely careful, or just don't use it, honestly. You guys probably will never hear another video on my channel have music on it, because I'm just not dealing with it. It's become too much of a headache, too much of a pain, and having to go back and mess up videos that originally had audio to it, because if I'd have known, I would have never put the music on there, and I just would have commentated and ran my mouth like I usually do. But guys, anyway, that is my big #1 thing right there, is watch out for using music in videos. #1, I got a lot of people constantly commenting back during the videos saying, dude, take the music out, take the music out. So many people hated the music. They wanted to hear the car. They wanted to hear the car either running, coming ripping into a jump, airborne, landing. They want to hear that stuff. So just get rid of the music. That's just my personal preference. Again, I mean, you do what you want. It's your channel. I'm just saying, from what I've experienced and what I've come across so far, the music just isn't worth it. Dealing with the headaches and dealing with people complaining because they want to hear the car. But anyway, like I said, you do what you do. Everybody's free to do what they want to do. But I'm just giving you guys my information, what I've come across. Next, we're going to discuss lighting. All right, guys, next thing we're going to talk about is outdoor lighting, and when you're out there bashing, and the best way to capture and the best places to be whenever you're running your car. Because this is something I had no idea about, and again, thank you, Bruno, for helping fill me in, because honestly, this might be obvious to some people, and other people you're just not thinking about it. You're just out there running the car and recording and not putting any thought into it, and I was doing the same thing, especially early on, and occasionally I still criticize myself a lot in videos when I do this, and I kind of just have that brain fart where I'm not thinking about where the sun's at, where the car's at, and which direction I'm recording in, because it matters and makes a big difference in your videos on making them look nice and people being able to actually see the car and see what's going on. Any guys that recently watched one of my run videos from out my backyard, I have all these woods in my back, and it keeps it very dark, and there's only certain times of the day that it's lit up back here. If I record whenever it's darker, when the car hits the tree line, the car almost vanishes for a second, and it's really annoying, but sometimes you just got to go with what you have. But I'm just saying, as far as if you can alter and change how your videos are going to look in the sun and keeping, the light in the right direction, if you can, great, go for it and try to do this. But basically, guys, what you're trying to do anytime you're recording is look wherever you have the brightest and lightest part of the sky. If you have the sun, you always want to keep the sun to your back is the best way to describe this. You don't want to be obviously trying to record the car into the sun, because you're going to get too much lens flare. It's going to get too washed out. The car is going to disappear either in the sun glare, or whenever the camera is trying to darken for the bright exposure, the car is going to disappear. So basically, if you're out here recording and the sun's to your back, you're wanting to try to keep that sun to your back as much as possible, so that #1, you're not getting the lens glare into your camera, but also that sun is now sending the light to the car, and that's what you're capturing. Because if you're the other way around and you're capturing, into the sun with the car is going to disappear into the sunlight. And another big thing that I've, find a lot, and it happens to be down at the motocross track a lot, and trust me, guys, I am not perfect. I know better, and I try to do what I can. But there's certain times of the day that I go out and bash, and where I bash, and things just don't work out, and you still end up in these scenarios. But I'm just, again, trying to give you guys some little tips. But tree lines. Try to watch the tree lines, especially. If you have a direction of tree lines, that if you have a wall of trees behind you where you're out there running, try to keep into the sunlight areas. Because if you're recording for 1 second in that dark spot, and now all of a sudden you run and jump out into the sunlight, there's that moment where the camera's trying to catch up, and it's either getting really dark or extremely bright, and things are disappearing, or you're going from the real bright to the real dark, and it's still trying to record for the light spot, and now it hits the dark, and it gets so dark for a second that you don't even see the car. You don't even know what you're looking at half the times. And it happens to me down at the motocross track quite a bit. When I'm down there at that monster jump at the wrong times of the day, when it comes off of there, it goes right in line with the tree line for a second. And the car kind of is harder to see for sure. And there's starting spots down there that are worse than others. And I've been trying to make sure I always stay in places at the right time of day that I get the proper sunlight. But that's the big thing, guys. Keeping that sun to your back and trying to keep that car in frame and in somewhere that has the most amount of light shining on that area that you're out there running in. Because if not, the camera's having a hard time adjusting back and forth between the light and the dark. And a lot of times you're missing a lot of stuff. So that's just my little tip on stuff that I've learned. And again, lighting ideas from Bruno. Thank you, buddy. Sorry we're not working together anymore, but your help is still going a long way, buddy. All right, everybody. Well, I think that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope it's helpful for anybody out there that, is just starting out and getting into, wanting to put together some videos and bring everybody along with what fun you're out there having, running your different RCs and out there bashing and just having a good time. Because, guys, that's what it's all about. It's having a good time and having fun. But I hope some of the little ideas are maybe helpful to somebody. Some of it may have, I know, been obvious, and a lot of guys out there already know this stuff. But to some, you're just getting started again. I wish I had known a lot of this earlier on, and there was a video like this, and I couldn't find one, so that would kind of maybe put this together. But also, this is what I do with all my controllers, if anybody's been asking or wondering. I bought one of these Pelican-style cases, I think from Harbor Freight or somewhere, and I pulled the foam out, and this is how I keep my controllers so that I'm out there running around. They stay clean, padded, and not just banging around in the back of my truck. But that's going to do it, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I appreciate y'all tuning in and stopping by. So that's going to do it. So until next time, y'all, be safe, be careful out there. Peace out, everybody.